Chapter 2. Systems. The ship's corridor was a desiccated artery, no longer pumping anything but icy silence through the vessel's body. The hard light created spans of darkness pursued by looming shadows that evoked primordial claustrophobia. Rook, Decima, and Milo moved in tandem, their breath visible as puffs of ice. The only sound that could be heard was the occasional echo of machinery breaking down, a consequence of the harsh cold that permeated the environment. There was no warmth or comfort to be found in this place, only a creeping dread that followed them at every turn. Rook escorted them deeper into the ship. Marcus had a glimmer of hope as he led the way, expecting to find and fix the life support systems. Decima, on the other hand, was still reeling from being forced into this nightmare. She had never left the 10 floors her father owned in the aging Burj Khalifa. The world as she knew it was the sprawling megacity that fought an endless war against the desert. Reality outside the ivory tower was new to her. She'd never been this far from home, this cold or this alone. "Why are you doing this?" The heat of Decima's words evaporated like dying embers in the foreboding corridors. Rook didn't even bother to look at her. "I'm just following orders," he said flatly. Marcus tried to fill the space, his voice trembling. The captain would know the ship's systems better than anyone. Rook didn't reply. Decima watched Marcus's face for reassurance. His expression was a mix of concentration and stress as he worked to repair the damaged life support panel. The access panel for the life support system was in shambles, appearing as if it had been intentionally smashed. The broken edges of the panel protruded inwards, revealing the inner wiring and circuitry of the system. The metal around it was dented and scratched, as if someone had used a tool or a weapon to inflict the damage, exposing the fiber optic wiring. It was evident that the damage was not accidental. Decima felt an ear of danger emanating from the broken panel. Clearly, someone had sabotaged the system and the sense of unease was palpable. But to Decima, Marcus's presence was a welcome warmth in the unnatural silence of the ship, a stark contrast to the cold emptiness of the corridor. She couldn't help but wonder if there was more to Marcus than met the eye. His movements were precise and almost mechanical, and his attention to detail was unparalleled. Was he perhaps a synthetic? She found herself drawn to Marcus, not just because of his skills, but also because of how he made her feel. Despite the chaos and danger they faced, being near him made her feel safe and even alive. Decima and Marcus huddled together in the cramped quarters of the corridor, watching Rook's robotic movements. "He gives me the creeps," Decima whispered. "Can't say I disagree," Marcus replied, shifting closer to her. "Sometimes I wonder if he's even human," Decima said, her eyes locked on Rook. "He's not," Marcus said flatly. Decima's eyebrows raised in surprise. "What do you mean?" "He's an android," Marcus said, leaning in conspiratorially. "A product of Weyland-Yutani." Decima nodded slowly, then turned her gaze to Marcus. "You know a lot about androids?" "I have a bit of a fascination," Marcus admitted, his voice low and suggestive. "But I'm much more interested in the real thing." Maggie, Milo, and Lydia floated along. The flickering emergency lights cast skeletal shadows across the naked metal framework of the frozen hall. Finally, they came to an airlock, the hiss of the doors sealing them from the others. Chaos awaited in the medical bay. A half-open smart wall of transparent aluminum divided the observation deck from the surgical suite. The operating theater was in shambles, with floating debris and equipment scattered haphazardly around the space. A broken screen flickered ominously, casting strange shadows in the emergency glow. In the flickering light, a haunting silhouette emerged. For a split second, Milo thought it looked like one of the mutant sea nettles of Earth's rotting oceans. But the red light revealed a floating body. Its explosive viscera emanated like coronal loops from 2 enormous ruptures. The wounds looked like something had clawed its way out from inside. Nebula's viscera floated about the medical bay in icy tendrils, leading back to the black-gloved man with an appallingly hollow head and abdomen to match. Milo recoiled in horror while Maggie stared blankly at the lifeless body. Lydia sneered, "Don't waste time gawking, we have work to do." Milo shot her a venomous glare. "You're insane. We can't just ignore what happened here. Who did this?" Lydia's expression darkened. "I said we have work to do. Now move." Milo hesitated briefly, looking at the blood-soaked medical screens before following behind the others. 2 images caught his eye. Body scans evidently showed 2 explosive tumors, but an ultrasound scan revealed a terror beyond even Milo's predictive ability. The synaptech implant overclocked, first running counter-impulses to block the incoming adrenal storm, keeping Milo's head in reality. Next, it hyperfixated his attention to the data scrabble of the scan, noting the most critical features of what he was seeing. Milo was already extrapolating possibilities in the milliseconds it would have taken an average person to realize what they were seeing. He was stunned by the lack of results. No known variables in Milos's clandestine travel agenda accounted for the terrible tail wrapped around the corpse's aorta. His implant deduced that this atrocity might be his contact, codenamed Hesiod, whom Bionational had sent him to buy intel from, but he never imagined it would be like this. And now, whatever this was, it appeared to be loose on the ship. As they reached the gravity drive, Lydia barked orders at Maggie and Milo. "Get to work, fix the damn thing." The mezzanine was a stark reminder of the isolation and danger that came with deep space travel. The room was uncomfortably cold, with icy tendrils creeping along the walls and making their way into every crevice. The low hum of the ship's engines could be heard in the distance, a constant reminder of the bizarre human experiment of hurtling through the emptiness of space. It was a place where even the slightest mistake or malfunction could spell disaster, and the thought of being stranded in the cold, infinite void sent shivers down Abby's spine. As she looked out at the vast expanse of stars through the viewport, she couldn't help but feel small and insignificant, at the mercy of the unforgiving emptiness that surrounded them. She wrapped herself tightly in the mirrored emergency blanket in a futile attempt to warm herself. The room's stillness made it feel like she was the only person in the entire universe. She stared blankly at the walls, trying to ignore the gnawing dread in her stomach. "Come on, guys," she muttered to herself. "Please bring the systems online." She closed her eyes and tried to imagine herself somewhere else, anywhere else. A tropical beach, her cozy apartment, anywhere but here. But as hard as she tried, she couldn't shake the feeling of being stranded. Abby let out a deep sigh and shook her head. "This is it," she whispered. "This is how I die." As she fell deeper into despair, a pale creature silently emerged from between the bulkheads of the room. Abby was so lost in her thoughts that she didn't notice the creature as it silently thrust off the wall, bearing down on her with all the instinct of an ancient predator. Something in the air changed. Abby suddenly felt a presence looming over her. She turned around and her heart nearly stopped in her chest. The creature's enormous head ended in a slash of metal teeth. Abby was frozen in terror, unable to move or even scream. Just as the creature was about to grab her, there was a sudden hiss, and the lights in the room flickered to life. The beast shrieked in surprise and then growled like a hellish nightmare.